Okay, good morning. We're going to look at the second set of examples today. I want you to look at question number 3. Here we're taking potassium nitrate and taking it apart to potassium nitrite and oxygen. So if we look at our first example, number 3, you have KNO3. It's going to KNO2 plus O2. Now we need to look at how many of each element we have on both sides and see if they balance. So again, we're going to make our table. We have our potassium, then we have nitrogen, and then we have oxygen. So if I start out with my reactant side, and it's going to go to our product side. So if I look at my potassium, I have 1 potassium on my reactant side. I have 1 potassium on my product side. If I look at my nitrogen, I have 1 on my reactant side. I have 1 on my product side. If I look at oxygen, here I have 3 on my reactant side. But on my product side, I have 2 in this compound and I have 2 in that compound, so I have 4. Now, if I look at these elements, here I know that my elements always have to go in multiples of 3. What's a multiple of 3 that's near to 4? 6. So I want to figure out how can I get 6 oxygens on this side and not have to change too much on this side. Well, to get 6 oxygens on this side, I need to put a 2 in front of that element. If I have 2 on this side, that means that I'm going to have 2 potassium, and that I'm going to have 2 nitrogen, and now I'm going to have 6 oxygen. Well, I know I need to get my potassium balanced out first, so what would I need to stick in front of my potassium nitrite in order to balance it? Well, I'm going to put a 2 in front of it as well. So now I'm going to have 2 potassium. Here I'm going to have 2 nitrogen. And now I'm going to take the 2 times the 2. And I'm going to add 2 more, which gives me 6. So now I have it balanced with 6 oxygen on both sides. But you had to think about what was the closest multiple of 3 that was near to 4 and work your way up to that. Let's look at another example, number 4. Here we have iron, Fe, and we're adding sulfuric acid, H2SO4. And that's going to iron 1, or iron 3, Fe2, SO4, 3, plus hydrogen. So here we have several different elements that we need to deal with. We have our iron, then we have our sulfur, then we have hydrogen and oxygen. So we're going to look at our products. Oh, what always comes first? Reactants. We have our reactants, and that's going to go to our products. So if I look at my reactants, here I have 1 iron, But on this side, I have 2 iron because that subscript 2 is there. So the first thing I want to do is be able to change the coefficient in front of the iron to be able to balance it out. So I'm going to put a 2 in front of the iron. So now I have a balanced number of irons on both sides. Now I want to look at my sulfur. Here I only have 1 sulfur on the reactant side. But if I look at the sulfur on this side, it has a subscript 3 outside of the parentheses, so that's telling me that I have 3 sulfur. So I want to get the sulfurs balanced. Since I have 3 sulfur on that side, I need to put a coefficient of 3 in front of the H2SO4. So change that to a 3. Doesn't affect the iron because iron isn't attached to anything else. Now let's look at our hydrogen. If I look at this side, if I'm taking my 3 times the 2, that's giving us 6. On this side, there's only 2 hydrogens because the hydrogen is over here by itself. So I need to change this coefficient in front of the hydrogen to be able to balance it. So I'm going to put a 3 in front of my H2. So then I'm taking 3 times 2, which gives us 6. Now we need to look at my oxygen. Let's see if we have those balanced. On this side, I have 3 of the O4s. So I'm taking 3 times 4, which will give me 12. And on this side, there's a 3 outside, but there's a 4 inside. So again, I'm taking the 3 times the 4, which gives me 12. So now I have those balanced again. I have 12 oxygen on that side, and I have 12 oxygen on this side. We had to change the coefficient in front of the iron to a 2. The H2SO4 needed a 3. The Fe2SO4 3 stayed with 1, and then you had to have 3 in front of the H2. We're going to save this particular section and move to the next.